All right. So, going back to recording, 3, 2. So we had to take a break, y'all, but we back at it. Thank you for rocking with us. Weekday Unwind. So, Dedrick, I want to hit you with this topic from the angle of date in your budget.
What is that?
If you can't afford them, leave them alone, gang. That's what the tweet was. So this is coming from Twitter. Let me read it again. Date in your budget. If you can't afford them, leave them alone. Saying that, what does that mean to you? Just hearing it. So for me, I'll start out. What it said to me was, don't be trying to go after that person that you know you can't afford. Because you ain't on their level.
What does that mean? I'm going to keep on saying that shit. What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean? It means that. So basically, okay, so if you make $50,000, you should not be trying to go after that bitch that you know make $3 million.
Why not?
They in a different level, a different league.
They got potential.
So you would be willing to date someone not that makes less than you, but that makes substantially less?
So here's the thing. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't go, because at the end of the day, dating is about experiences, right? And I know what kind of experience that I like, and it didn't have to cost a thing. Okay. Take me to the park and have a picnic, and that's great for me. And it doesn't matter how much I make, because I don't have to go to Ruth Chris, all of that. Don't impress me, because I don't even like eating there anyway.
But let's say it gets serious and y'all are trying to combine something. Knowing this person, they're bringing something to the table, but not something adequate enough to be a part of what's already going.
Define what adequate means,
So okay, if the household bills are $10,000 a month, just bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And this person can only put in $500.
Let's talk about that though, because who created that? So if you're coming into my life and my bills have been $10,000 a year, I would love to have a helpmate, right? That's going to be able to offset some of those costs. But I created that,
right?
So because I created that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's going to come in and be able to meet me halfway. Would it be ideal? Absolutely, but that's like me I'm going out here to look for somebody that makes that kind of money. I don't care about that.
In theory, you should. That goes back.
You stood on whose standards? By whose standards, though?
But doesn't that go back, y'all? Literally, we was just talking about you need to hang with people that fit your future, not your past.
And you heard what I said.
But doesn't that translate to your spouse? Shouldn't your spouse fit your lifestyle?
Well, let's unpack me and what we just talked about. I don't fit into a box. So that whole question in a way goes out the window, because I could have had an ex that makes $30,000 or a current person that makes $5 million a year. None of that moves me. That don't move me at all.
Okay, but according to statistics, a lot of
I'm not a statistic.
A lot of relationship issues stem from
finances.
Especially, okay.
But that's how you enter into the situation. So again, I can speak personally on that. I won't go into detail about, but I can speak personally along those lines. I created that dynamic that I had. It didn't work out the way that it was supposed to work out, but Dedrick was on, if it was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. But when he walked away from that situation, it was always about damn that he did.
But doesn't that put you in a predicament where you start to feel like you're carrying the person?
So, and there was that. But again, I created that environment where listen, we were coming into this situation a 50-50 split. It did work out that way. Some shit happened. So at what point in time, like, does love trump that? Because, like, there are situations where shit happens on purpose, right? Where the individual purposely does what they does. And not to say that that ain't one of the things that happened with me. I'm simply saying that at what point do we draw the line in terms of what you created versus what they came with versus how we mold this together?
Okay, now that you just said something happened. Something happened that caused for the parallel to become unparalleled, right?
Right.
This is strategically talking about dating within your budget. So this is the initial coming.
You turn this around the way. You might just go down this other street.
Okay, I did, but so what? Turn around. I've never seen you date a broke nigga.
That you know of.
So you've dated some broke niggas I don't know of?
Yeah. Let me not say I dated some broke niggas. I've dated individuals that were not where I'm at financially, but hell, I ain't been where I've always been financially.
And when you wasn't where you was at financially, you wasn't trying to date niggas who are where you are now.
Because I knew what my potential was. That's the difference. Because I knew that what I was trying to do and where I was trying to go in my life did not suggest me to date down in a way.
Okay.
Or to look down in a way. And not to say that that is a bad thing, but a lot of people need to understand their worth. I understood my worth a long time ago at a young age. I knew that I was going to go to college. I wanted to get multiple degrees, what I wanted to do with my life in terms of where I wanted it to go. And baby, I have worked my ass off. Right. And baby, I've worked my ass off to get to those places, taking every step possible, forward, back, to the side, all the above. So I take nothing away from my experience in any capacity, but I always knew what I wanted and where I wanted to go. So to come into my life, you can't come like no fucking cabbage. Period. It's never been that way.
I'm sorry, you can't come like no what?
Like no cabbage. That's a Southern saying.
What in the Kentucky? Okay, I get it. I'm not dating no nigga that can't afford me.
But what does it mean that they can't afford you though? Well, define what that means. Well, let me back you up. Let me back up because I need you to understand my love language. It's quality time and acts of service. I don't need you to make a whole lot of money to fulfill those obligations to make me happy in a relationship. But from an adulting standpoint and making sure that our house, if we're living up under the same roof together, yes, we need to have some sort of compromise on that. But to date me and to understand that those two things make me the happiest, if you can find out what to do to make those things work and make me happy in a situation, I'm good. For the dating aspect of it. The other part of it is a conversation that comes into play. Listen, I know that you might be transitioning in life, or you might be where you want to be at in your life. But let's understand what this table looks like. Because this table right here, this old hardwood ass table that's sitting in my house, maybe she's unbreakable. So how do we keep that bitch from having a crack down the center?
Right.
Let's have a come to Jesus meeting about all of that before we even go down what affordability looks like.
So one of the things I hang with Chink, right? You know I'm always with Chink. We always out, right?
Yeah.
One of the things about Chink and I, one of the things about Dedrick and I, one of the things about whoever I'm with and I is we can afford whatever we want to do, right? So
period. Thank you, God.
I don't like this is what I don't like. Now granted, I'm not balling out of control like Dedrick. I'm not there, y'all, right?
And I ain't either.
But I don't want everything to be, well, how much it costs. Like, wait, what?
Now, I'm with you when you're right. So I stopped doing that a long time ago. If Dedrick know he can't afford it, then, especially when we go on trips, you know, I do spontaneous trips and shit. So if I know that if I can't fly out that mug, drive a car to the mug, go rent a car from the mug, get my own hotel from the place, those are deliverables that I must be able to meet. Because if shit goes sour with my group or whoever I'm with, what I'm not going to be is on the street. I'll
We
be
ain't,
at
we ain't about to
home.
be stuck. We ain't
I'll
about to
be
be
at home.
stuck. Now, but here's the thing, though. So when it translates to dating, do I date a person that can't afford anywhere I want to go? I don't always want a 4 for 4, bitch.
I mean,
right. And
so
again,
I feel like that's
nothing wrong
understanding
with
your
that.
dynamics. I feel like that's understanding your dynamics in the beginning, right? So we have conversations, we're talking in the beginning, right? So I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm a Carrabba's type of motherfucker. I love to go eat at
Come
Carrabba's, one
on,
of my favorite
Carrabba's.
restaurants. It's a mid. I mean, hell, you can. I mean, you ain't got to make a whole lot of money to go eat at Carrabba's,
Right.
but that's what makes me happy. If you're speaking along the lines of I'm trying to go to the Sugar Factory every other Friday because that menu is stupid ridiculous and it's a Cheesecake Factory menu for all purposes intended. Like, I ain't got to do all of that. It's understand the dynamics of what you want and how you want to date.
Pause. This coming from a bitch whose Uber Eats costs $85 a night. I'm not doing this. You're
But
lying.
so let me tell you something. So when we had this conversation back about a month ago, that I said I didn't then, but I can now. So
Okay.
that's different. I want what I want when I want it. That's me. That's the dynamic that I created for my life. If I want something, then I've created a budget for it.
Right.
I've worked a job that's going to pay me the amount of money that allows me to be able to do what it is that I want to do, which wasn't always the case in my life. But I'm there now. And
Hello.
if I want it,
Won't
and
the
if I
Lord
want
do
to
it? Let
spend,
the Lord use
right.
you.
And if I want to spend $85 to $100 to order Uber Eats for all my friends that's at my house because I can,
Nah, nigga, he ordered that by himself, y'all.
I mean, I might do that too. But
like Chink go to Thin and Feathers every fucking week for the motherfucking salmon and catfish nuggets.
I mean,
the amount he spent in a week, I could buy the groceries and cook it every week for the whole month and spend less.
But if it ain't nobody in your house to have to cook all of that, who wants to do all of that when you live a busy life?
I get it. You got it. Here's the thing. I get it. We have become the lifestyles in which we become what?
Accustomed to.
Absolutely. As such, do we bring someone in that's going to affect that lifestyle? Because now we have to carry all the weight.
Are we carrying all the weight though?
Again, if you can't afford what I want.
But again, you created that. You created the life.
So let me not create you in my fucking life then, because
here's the thing. And I think this comes as age and as you age, or I'm just speaking this in general, not to you, but as you age up and as wisdom starts to set in, it's like, hey, I built my house the way that I wanted to build my house. And if someone comes into my home to change some shit up, how much am I willing to compromise on what levels to make sure that not only they're comfortable coming into my house because my name is on the mortgage, but also them being able to come in and feel comfortable as well. They may not make the amount of money that I make, but what is our compromisation coming through the door? What is that discussion that we are having through the door that says, hey, listen, I make $35,000 a year. Okay, well then listen, you own the utilities.
Okay.
And don't ever let that get out of control, because if it gets out of control, then the mortgage is going to get paid. I created the mortgage. Now, it's different when we buy the house together because we're going into a situation where we're combining our incomes. The bank has said, yes, we're going to give you both the loan based on incomes and credit scores that you can afford this home. If one of us defaults in any kind of way, that becomes then the agreement on who can afford at that time to pay that mortgage, or shit's going to go under, i.e. how marriages end when it comes to finances. Some shit goes down and somebody can't afford if there was an agreement in the beginning.
Did you see this question pop up?
Are we willing to have the tough convo of how we like to live and want to incorporate and compromise? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Not.
That's the converse. No. Who don't want to have that conversation? So I love that you asked that question, because I was just talking to my good friend, one of my besties, Kelly, on the way home from work today, and I was telling her that I love quality time. So I want my partner to be in my home or us to be in a home together. I don't want it to feel like it's my shit over theirs or whatever it is. But that is an important conversation that we have to have from the beginning. If you date with intent, that conversation should never be a hard one to have. If you dating for fun, then baby, why are we gonna ask that? What? That's not even important.
Why I gotta fucking compromise?
Who said? I mean, if you want somebody in your life that's gonna be in your life, you gotta compromise at some point, some way, shape, or fashion. That's bullshit to say that you wouldn't. You selfish as fuck if you can't. You don't need no man in your life at this juncture.
Thank you, baby.
Let's just say that.
Here's my thing though. Why we gotta? We're talking about the dating phase. We're talking about dating in your budget. I gotta stop compromising in the
You
beginning.
get ready to stop trying to send this conversation every other direction but the right one.
Okay. Tell me this. 3 questions. And y'all can answer in the chat too. Question number 1. Are you willing to date someone that makes 80% less than you annually? Dedrick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you said yes, does the compromise conversation happen from the beginning, or do you let it happen over time?
No, it happens in the beginning for me because, again, I'm dating you with intent. Well, no, Let me back up. Hold on. Let me back up.
Okay.
I answered that way too quickly. It doesn't happen at the very beginning. But as we start to grow in seriousness, let's just say that happens to be at month 3. I don't know. Then at that point in time, we would have had some kind of build-up conversations on the way to the serious one of, hey, ultimately, I want to be married. Ultimately, I want to do this. Ultimately, I want to live in the same household together. And if that, I have a home. If you don't have a home, then that's fine. You can move in with me. Or if you have a home, you want to buy a home together, let's wait till after marriage. We understand what that looks like a couple years down the road. It's really figuring out the dynamics of both individuals, right? Because you don't somebody can make 80% less than me and in actuality have more.
Right. So
it's the dynamics of the individuals that's in that particular situation at that time.
Now, Chick is spinning the conversation, but I like this question, so I'm gonna go with it. Are we willing to help evaluate that person? All I'm saying
elevate that person. He said elevate that person.
Elevate. Yes. So
here's the thing.
I'm open to it.
Go ahead.
I'm open to helping elevate my partner that I want to be with because I'm willing to invest in us. And if investing in us means me investing in you to help elevate you, which will then naturally progress into helping what we have, absolutely. Absolutely. Partner, let me upgrade you. Now, Dedrick, the human resource.
Hey, y'all. So yes, I'm all about iron sharpening iron, right? So that goes for friendships and relationships. So in order for us to be what we want to be and because I know what I want to be.
Right.
I know what I want to do when I grow up. Or at least I think I know what to do. God's plan might be different than mine. But if you come into my life and you gonna know I'm a natural born hustler, I grow myself like I grow my environment. So naturally I'm gonna help you.
Come on, bro.
Naturally I'm gonna help you. But the problem comes into play is when you start to abuse that growth and start to take advantage. Where do we see that at? Where do we notice that and notice and say, you know what? Hold up, player. You over here taking advantage, you ain't contributing all the above. So when do we self-evaluate that? Because we can play Build-A. I've talked about this before. We can play Build-A-Bear workshop all day long. But at what point right. At what point does the kindness become a weakness? because of the fact that like sex might be good, they might treat you right, all them they draining the fuck out.
Well, I think that's an ongoing evaluation. It's not a one-time evaluation.
Well,
As you're helping to elevate them, you're looking at how are they reacting, reciprocating, all of that. It's an ongoing evaluation.
Agreed. I'm not negating that at all.
So we got to wrap up, y'all. We are actually recording Weekday Unwind. And Weekday Unwind, we're actually on live simultaneously, so we all over the place.
But somebody asked the question.
Turn me down on your other phone, because it's coming back on your Instagram phone.
Is it good now?
Okay, that's good. So now, we're willing to date someone who makes less. We're willing to elevate their life and get into them. Is there a point where you got to say no? Like, I can't go that low now. Can you date someone who comes at you and they're already unemployed? Wait.
Oh,
Edwin! Edwin just took the whole show.
I saw what he brought, and I was going to get to that. But to answer your question,
hold on. You know what? This just got Edwin just hit. Okay, hold on. Weekday Unwind the episode. We're going to end on this question, but we want to stay on live. So on this question, would you date someone who comes in unemployed?
I can. Depends on the circumstance.
I do, and that's the answer. With all that said, we got to get back.
Wait a minute. What?
We got to get down with you. So we'll catch y'all next week with another edition of Weekday Unwind. Until next time, be blessed, be focused, and as always, be ready to unwind. Now hold that thought. All right, we're done recording. Motherfucking Edwin just hit us with some shit. So Edwin said, I don't think there's no such thing as elevating someone. I think when people are in a relationship, it's you two. It shouldn't be someone elevating. I understand inspiring someone, but elevate, nah.
So my question is to that is, how do you know that you are elevating someone versus inspiring them?
And I said what I said.
How did you know that you elevating somebody versus inspiring them, though?
And before I take it back, I will add to it, baby.
Come on.
So, I need you to answer my question.
What's that?
How do you know you're elevating versus inspiring?
So when elevating, I just feel like in a relationship, when it comes to elevating, it makes it seem like I'm above you and now I gotta bring you up to me. Like, no.
That's subjective.
If anything, y'all should have established that when y'all was starting to talk.
That's subjective, though.
But I feel like the word elevating just sounds degrading to me. Like, you saying that I was a gutter bitch and now you just elevated me, like you upgraded my life. Like, it was like, it didn't. I don't like the word elevate. And now, listen, it's everybody's opinion and this is mine. I don't feel that saying I elevated you. Like, that just sounds like...
Okay, so hold on. Edwin, can you explain to me what inspiring means then? So we understand that elevating is a no for you. So what is inspiring?
So inspiring, if we're in a relationship and let's just say I'm stuck in my way as far as the regular 9 to 5, or 11 to 7 or whatever my schedule is, and all of a sudden I'm with you and I'm seeing that you are a businessman. You are literally on your shit. You're coming up with business ideas. You're doing this. You're in the community, all this. You're inspiring me to now want to think and want to now go in my head and be like, okay, what can I do? Like, I'm seeing him hustle. Let me see what I can do.
Right.
Fester up inside of me that can possibly birth out a business or birth out a business mind or something like that. That's inspiring. But elevating, I just don't. That word I was like, I'm not a fan.
It's subjective.
If you are trying to, if somebody sees you hustling say you make 200,000 a year, you only make 40,000 a year. You see they hustle, you see what they're trying to do. You're trying, but you don't have those resources. You're trying, but you don't have the mindset to think outside the box to get to where you're going. If somebody comes in and gives you those resources, helps you change your whole dynamics of how you process your thinking, that would be elevating you because you did not think that way before. That's not inspiring, that is elevating because I'm doing the work to show you what you need to do. Inspiring is just looking at somebody, taking something from what they did, spinning it and doing it your own way. But now I'm giving you my resources. Now I'm giving you my work that you didn't have before. You're taking what I give you and applying it, and now you are making more money. Now you're an entrepreneur. Now, whatever the case may be, and it doesn't have to be entrepreneur. I think people get stuck on entrepreneur. It could absolutely be a 9-to-5, just in a better position, making more money.
Okay.
Now you're elevated. I elevated you because I gave you those resources. That's not inspiration. That is pure work that I did and resources I gave you for you to go to the next level of where you wanted to be.
So, Edwin, can I ask you this?
Sure.
Why are you so against elevating? And I ask that because you literally put it in capitals, right? And you came in like, I said what I said, and I said no, right? So why have you elevated someone previously and it went bad or something? Or like, why are you so against elevating?
I wouldn't say I don't like that word. I just believe like, okay,
Yeah.
what was that?
I said, well, I did shit.
Okay, so
I'ma
listen,
call him
everybody have their story. I've seen, the narrative on how that can be spun because if case that relationship or whatever doesn't work, now it's like, bitch, you where you are because of me. And it's like one of them moments that I'm like, so was it with it? Did you provide your resources or cause me to network or link me with someone so that this can be thrown in my face at a later time and then make it seem like you the reason that I came up versus me? You introducing me to this person and me maintaining this relationship? Or is it that, it was, if I just don't, I've seen it. I've been a part of it.
When you spin it like that, that is very negative. But the reality is,
that's why I said I don't like that word because I'm speaking.
So wait, Edwin.
Okay,
so Edwin, I'm going to flip it for you and make it more personal. Would you be willing to help elevate your friends?
So I've done that. Well, I won't say elevate. I've introduced my friends to people to help them. I've introduced my friends and showed them different things to help them. I wouldn't say, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just that elevate word that I'm just like,
so let's take elevate away from it. Now, what you've explained isn't inspiring. So what word, what adjective would you use?
Would consider it, I was the reason that y'all was able to network. I was the
Elevated.
reason.
Okay.
Whatever. If that's what you want to call it, whatever. I wouldn't say
inspired.
I mean, inspire or causing them to network, rub elbows, or connect them. I wouldn't say elevate though. I just don't know about that word for me.
Mario said developer.
Hey, it's giving iOS.
Well, so to be fair, Edwin, if we can go back some, I met you at a time where you were in the entertainment industry, right?
Singing, right?
Right. So, everybody was in this zone of everybody was networking. Everyone was trying to, see who knew who, how anyone could help them, right? Is there not a natural form of elevating that happens anyway, just with you wanting to see people prosper?
I just consider it growth. I think for me, I understand people evolve, they grow, they develop, all this stuff, but of course, everybody elevate, but I just don't think regarding relationships and dating, the
Okay.
topic at hand
So
is
let me take you back to the beginning. Edwin, would you date someone that made 80% less than you annually?
I have. Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work, did it?
It actually did. What didn't work was the fact that they couldn't keep their damn dick in their pants. Or they ass in their damn pants. It wasn't about the position or the role. I mean, or the job. It was the
Okay,
position
But
so
of
does
being
that make
in
you feel
Georgia and
some kind
everybody
of?
is
Did that
greedy as
make you
fuck
feel
and
some
want a
kind of way
damn
though?
buffet.
Did that make you feel some kind of way though because of what transpired from a relationship standpoint as it relates to the question that's being asked? So is there a bit of resentment in that
Oh
from
no.
that capacity? I'm not saying from the relationship. I'm just talking about from growth and elevation and your resources that you provided.
No, there's no resentment at all because for me, I guess for me being a preacher's kid, I like to see everybody win. And
absolutely.
if I can attach you to somebody that I know that you're passionate for and you want to go do and you can win off of that, baby, I did my part. I'm not going to be resentful. I'm not going to do none of that. I don't have my blessings is not tied to a person. So I'm not
Agreed.
finna block their blessing because what good would it do of me if I know that somebody wants to do podcasting and I'm stopping them from contacting you?
Right.
I'm
Agreed.
not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I will provide you the resources. What you do with the resources is on you. I just can clear the way and put you and link you. That's it. But I'm not going to consider that I elevated you. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I could be different. I could be weird or it could sound stupid, but it's just my opinion.
Okay, now
It's not
to
a
me,
dumb opinion.
I
Not at all.
want to be clear. The Oxford Language textbook dictionary definition of
Come on,
elevating
y'all.
is to raise or lift something to a higher position or to raise a more important or impressive level.
Mm.
So let's
I
talk about
think,
that. So let's
I
talk
think,
about that, right?
okay,
Because Merriam-Webster's dictionary, or whoever you just looked up, gave us that definition, right? So let's talk about what society does to that definition, because that's where a lot of our comments come from, is what
yes,
society does to that. So society tells us that, let's look at that, and from what we're seeing from your response, Edwin, is I don't like it because it has a negative connotation attached to it in a way.
right.
But if we were going textbook version of it, it would be exactly what we were discussing in terms of elevating your partner, your friend, all of the above.
Okay,
So
right.
what is the difference? What has society done that says, you know what, elevating it? So because it does have a lot of attachments to it, right? Especially when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, that can be both good and bad and indifferent all in the same damn sentence.
Right.
Dead ass.
So
Dead ass. No lies.
and then that's what makes this conversation, in your opinion, in my opinion, and Diamond's opinion, all more subjective. Anything, because if we were to go textbook version off of it, in my relationship, I elevated the fuck out of my my ex, and I ain't even go. I'm not playing no games. At the end of the day, and I'm taking nothing away from it. I'm patting myself on the back because that's not just with him. That's everybody that I come and encounter with, because that's a part of my calling. That's why they call me the human resource, because I'm supposed to be able to pass on my knowledge. And if that elevates you, then I've done my job. I'm going to be blessed on the outside of it, but I can't
Now,
look at it.
according to your dictionary.com, when it comes to elevating, when it comes to a person-to-person perspective, it's to raise a higher moral, cultural, or intellectual level. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about, and that's the positive spin on it, right? I think you're both right. I think, Dedrick, you have analyzed that to say I elevated someone comes with a negative connotation, and then Edwin has directly shown like, hold on, not that word, because of how that word makes it. They don't taste good to me, that word, when it comes to a person. So I get it, but the reality is, for me, We understand that conceptually, to go from step 1 to step 2 is an elevation, like it's elevating. When you help someone to obtain a goal, you help them to achieve something, that's a form of elevation. I think that we control the
Come on,
narrative.
Sean.
We control the narrative enough that Edwin, Dedrick, Diamond Keeson, Chink, we can take the power back in what's the definition of the word is when it comes out of our mouth. And a perfect example of that is the word bitch, right?
Oh,
we
Lord.
know that in the LGBT culture, hey bitch is a I love you, right? But we know there's some people in the heterosexual culture that bitch is a derogatory word, right?
Like my mama, she can't stand it.
Listen, my grandmother, but
my mama
it's
cannot
that,
stand it, baby. When I
right?
tell
So
you,
it's that what power do you give to it? What power do you take from it? What power do you allow it to have over you? Kind of a thing. Edwin, I've watched you. I'm gonna be honest. I hope you don't mind me being personal. I've watched you elevate your own life. I elevate is the word I'm gonna use. I have watched you elevate.
That's the word I'm
the
gonna
years
use.
I have known you. You have played no games. I've watched you pull away from the world to focus on you and elevate you, right? And I will never downplay what you've done for me by saying I watched you inspire yourself. Nah, E, I watched you elevate, shorty. I was there. Like, I watched you rock'em sock'em robot. Dedrick, I watched you elevate your life and the life of those around you. No shade. You know, and I think that we have to not be afraid to purposely, here we go again with that word purpose, to purposely define the words we use for what we mean them to be. You know, so to raise a higher intellectual, moral, or cultural level, I think that's naturally what we should be doing with anyone we date anyways, because we all know when we come together with someone, they weren't raised by our mamas, we wasn't raised by theirs, right? So there's this cultural piece that we bring together. There's a morale piece, and there's always an intellectual piece. So I think naturally we have to begin to elevate, because when we don't, we end up in these situationships and these subpar relationships that end up ugly on Twitter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to start to put the purpose back into the words we use.
But so that comes with, I mean, that comes with growth and elevation of, you know, your life. There are certain things that I probably would have said or done 15, 5, 10, 12 years ago that I'd be damned if I do now, because I know where I've elevated myself to, right? The environments that I want to be in, not for people who choose me to be in those environments.
Right.
So it's about how you present yourself in a way that you want your life in the direction that you want it to go in. And I think we get caught up in a lot of what, not we, but just speaking in general from what I see, like referencing like the Twitters and stuff like that, we can go to war behind a screen.
Hello.
All day long.
For
real. Go to war behind a screen. But what you gonna do when you get in person? When you gotta really deal with the intellectual ability to be able to take those words that you were so adamant about saying behind the veil and putting them into a way that we can have a dialogue. Because like we talked earlier, we're not going down that road. You were elevating your voice and hollering at me. Crucial conversations. If y'all haven't taken it, take it. But I'm not doing that with you. I'm walking away from you because I know what I have to lose. It's understanding that.
That's where I am. Like we had a conversation with my sister today, and I literally said, I have no wherewithal. I have zero effort or anything to go back and forth with anybody. Like, we can have either an adult conversation that we can agree to disagree. We can come to some type of mutual understanding, but that whole your vibration and your throat, that tone coming up here and mine having to meet you and stuff, baby, I don't got time for that. I got way too much to lose.
Let me ask you this, Edwin.
Because I'll be ready to fight.
Edwin, if you don't mind me asking, are you in a relationship currently?
No.
Are you open to a relationship currently?
Mm-hmm.
What does walking into a relationship look like for you?
So she didn't change the direction.
No. I promise you, I'm not. It's going to be definitely on target.
So, judging based off of my past, I can only go off of my Zoom, of course.
Right.
I've been with a person who had the things that most guys or most people is looking for in a person. You know,
okay.
I'm not interested in that no more. To be honest, show me the layer that's under what people don't see. That's what I'm interested in learning. I'm interested in learning the inner person, not the exterior, because you can be the baddest mofo walking and be toxic as fuck.
Did we not just talk about that earlier? The smoke and mirrors aspect and seeing the person in the middle of the smoke and mirrors.
Listen, you can be so nice looking and have the I've dated somebody that had the things, got me a car and everything, and as soon as I called him cheating, he reported the car stolen.
What?
Mm-hmm. Caught him cheating.
Let me open up my little trusty notepad and see how does that work out. If little Tommy went
oh, you know him. You know who I'm talking about.
Who, Dedrick?
If little Tommy went
if little Tommy was on Craigslist cheating and Edwin caught him on Craigslist cheating, how the fuck do little Tommy report Edwin's card that Tommy got him for Christmas stolen?
Exactly.
Because Edwin opened his mouth. That's why.
You shouldn't have said that.
Because you wasn't supposed to catch him, much less supposed to say anything about it.
Let's be clear. Wait a minute. So now we finna go to that story. Before it happened, before this Craigslist shit happened and I caught it, we went to Athens, Georgia. I posted a picture. Somebody inboxed me and said, I know him. I said, oh, okay. Do you want me to tell him you said hello? I'm not an insecure person. So I'm like, I'll tell him you said hi, I guess. He was like, no, I know him. We fucked last week when he was here for work. So I didn't say nothing then.
You shouldn't have posted the picture.
Fuck that. He posts me, I post him.
Nope.
So Jeez. The thing happened. What happened was, I don't automatically jump off. Like if somebody says something, I need to see receipts. So he sent me the Craigslist ad and it was neck down. So same text, etc. All. So now I can say something because I got this receipt in my hand. What is this? That's not me. It's what I got. So someone has the same body structure, the same tattoos, the same everything as you.
You know people be stealing other people's pictures.
And this is not you. So then, now we fast forward. The weekend, the day of the South Carolina shooting in 2015 was the exact day that I found out about it. Because something just said, go on Craigslist.
Oh my God.
I be damned. First of all, let me be clear. I did not know anything about a Craigslist dating part. I just thought you went on there, your apartment, sell a dog and shit. I didn't think it was a man that you can meet. Anyway, fast forward. I seen that same picture neck down on Craigslist in South Carolina. So I immediately became Deontay Green was my name.
Come on, Deontay!
My name was Deontay Green. And I immediately, he said in order to get a quick response in the dick picture, okay, I Googled the guy, he had dreads and he had a big old joinky. So he immediately called me and blah, blah, blah. As soon as I hung up the phone, he responded to that email from Craigslist. So I immediately said, send me a facial picture. And it was my ex.
Who was then your current?
Who was then my current. Yeah.
You shouldn't have been on Craigslist looking.
Fuck that. No, you shouldn't have been. You shouldn't have put a damn anything on Craigslist. You shouldn't have been on Craigslist.
Maybe he was just trying to pay that car note he bought you.
No, he worked for the car dealership.
Moving along.
So
what's the next question? Because I can't go down this road at all. Period.
Edwin, what does walking into a relationship look like for you?
Me?
No,
me.
Oh.
Walking into a relationship for me consists of just getting to know someone. I just want to get to know you, vibe with you, see, what do you like? I want to know it, like, for real. I don't want to know what makes you sad because I never want to do that. I want to know.
But you do need to know that, though.
I would find out.
It's not your turn.
Oh,
I would find out by a third party, somebody third party doing it. I wouldn't want to make someone sad. I want to be able to know you. Like, okay, this makes them sad because of this happened, and they was really sad by this shit. They was really hurt because someone said a certain thing. But I would want to get to know your layers. And then we walk into a relationship. I don't give a damn about your job or whatever. My table is spread over here.
Come on, spread.
And you can come
on,
eat.
Spread. Shit.
Jedrick B.
Hey.
What does walking into a relationship look like for you?
Fucking nightmare. No, I'm just.
I thought you was gonna say fucking.
I'm out.
Oh God. That's such a loaded question. And we talked a little bit about earlier today how it is when it comes to me with relationships. Like I need to see the person in the middle of all the smoke and mirrors, right? So what is smoke and mirrors? So smoke and mirrors is everything that goes along and around your life, right?
Right.
I need to see the person in the middle of that, which is what people don't see in me. So walking into my life is understanding and knowing that my life has many different dynamics to it. I wear a lot of hats. So you cannot be afraid. You cannot be intimidated. You cannot not want to be a part. You have to understand, and I have to understand what our love languages are so that we can work off of that. Because every moment is not going to be great, right? Every moment is not going to be, we cuddled up next to each other. There are going to be times where we're going to argue and all that good stuff, although I prefer not to. But in that being in that relationship part of it, there's also the beauty of the elevation of the two of you all. So I know you don't like to use that word, Edwin, but there's the elevation of both of us because we're both walking into the situation blindly in a way, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens and what transpires is both an elevation or it can be a decrease depending on what, actually happens. We don't know because that's God's story to tell. Mm-hmm. But walking into the relationship with me is understanding that it's complete optimism and dating with intent. The intent is that we are looking to go and do something long term. I want children. You have to be able to want children. That's something that's a non-negotiable for me, which is a non-negotiable in a way for a lot of people in the community that don't want children. And that's okay. But that's one that has to be understood at the door. To date me long term because I'm not deviating from that script. But also just being able to want to enjoy life. I'm spontaneous as fuck. Y'all know that about me. So like I just up and do stuff all the time. And you have to be able to want to roll with the punches, but you also got to be able to reel my ass back because I'll go and not look at a stopping point. But the other thing too is just wanting to be happy and build and whatever that looks like, because we're walking into unknown territory, right? I don't know anything about you. You don't know anything about me. Hopefully we walk into a situation where we can combine our lives where things may go well with the little rifts and tears that may come with it. But just live and just have a good ass fucking time. Have some great sex, make some babies. And just build and grow. And and let's just be honest, people don't want to talk about that stuff because it's like, ooh, let's be real about this shit. Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, we want all of those fantasies that I want to be able to enjoy my fantasies with the person that I get to lay down with every night, because I enjoy laying down with that person and getting up and giving them a kiss, bad breath and all, every morning. So those are the adventures of the life and times of wanting to be in a relationship with me. Hey, Chef Blake, how are you?
That answer was long as the fuck.
Hey, listen, I'm
It
giving
was
my beauty
very
pageant
informative,
answer.
though. It was
I'm giving my beauty
informative.
pageant answer.
And the thing is, even with love languages, the problem that people have is they will tend to make someone else's like, if I have a certain love language, I cannot make my love language yours. I have to understand your love language in order, that's
So
just
And that's what we don't talk about. I think it's because we don't talk about them just because we don't. And I feel like that's a conversation that is a great conversation to happen at the door.
Mm-hmm.
But
Agree.
You niggas act like somebody's supposed to automatically know their love.
Well, that's why you had a conversation at the door. If you ain't never, I'm going to be able to talk fluidly about mine. Let's say you've never taken a test before, so you don't really know what it is. And then you have a self-actualization moment after you take the test. So then you really understand, oh, you know what? All those years, that's the reason why XYZ didn't do blah, blah, blah. Or, he did or she did all those things, right? Because you now recognize what it is that makes you happy and turns you on and turns you off in a relationship. And so then it becomes a communication situation where, like, hey, now I can talk to that shit. I know I enjoy selfless acts. Take some shit off my back every now and again. I'm the happiest person in the world. Come sit beside me while I'm playing Mario Kart and cuddle up under me. That's my quality time. You don't have to worry about me doing the damn thing.
Agreed. Like, for real, that's what I would say too. Like, just take if the person does not know their love language, just okay, we finna take the test together. Then I will show you mine and you show me yours.
Exactly.
It's all about just putting in effort. Like,
you better put your glasses on.
I know, Professor.
It's an actual test.
Yes.
Go. You look up everything else, Merriam Webster.
I know.
Go.
You just straight up Googled something on our ass.
Come on, Brandon, with this PS5.
You straight up just Google something.
And have you ever taken the 5 love languages test before? Clearly you haven't.
He didn't even know about it.
That's my nigga.
So my thing is that, and I think it's a great tool. And just now, I'm getting ready to put the microscope back on you. I think that's a great thing for you to do.
Okay.
On you,
I know, like,
you, Mr. Magoo. So I think it's a great thing for you to learn as you expand and come into this person that has been there all this time, that you will understand and know why it is that you tell everybody that you don't want to be in a relationship. But if in fact it does come, because in my mind I believe that it will, that you'll understand that what things make my crazy ass or your crazy ass, whatever, function inside of a relationship, and stop ignoring me, heifer.
I'm not talking to Kai.
That's mine, Caleb.
On Bigo. Words of affirmation is great to know. Anyways, so
agree, Caleb.
Zaddy Chink said, "Is it not selfish to not want to compromise?"
Hell yeah. It's selfish as fuck.
That's very selfish.
I'm sorry, right?
Is it not selfish to not want to compromise? That's a double. Is it not selfish to not?
That's selfish.
It's absolutely selfish.
Because people say it is selfish to not want to compromise. So the question is it not? I don't think it's selfish. I feel, let me speak for me, Diamond Kisan. If you're at a point in your life where you have no more compromise to give because of past situations, because of whatever the isms are that lead you to that point, don't think it's selfish. If that's your reality, your perception is your reality.
Motherfucking ma'am. And I'm gonna stop you there because there are you just said a whole mouthful. That at the end of the day, if you have situations that have placed you in a place and space in your life that allow you not to be able to love in a way that you should be able to love, you need to get your ass some help. Point blank, period. And that is out there for you that is out there for you. And I ain't talking about you because we're talking in general, right? But let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Like,
spade is spade.
Because at some point, you're going to realize that I keep repeating the exact same cycle in my life. And if I don't change the cycle of the situation, I'm going to keep getting the same result.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are resources out there to help you get out of that cycle, then why not utilize it? What hell, you go to work every day like I go to work every day. We got benefits that pay for that stuff. Why are we not utilizing them?
Facts.
That's absolutely crazy.
Facts. That's facts. Sorry, friend.
But that coming from me is tough love, because that's how I operate. But it's also a reality situation too, because I've been there where I've been jaded behind situations that have caused me to miss out on great things and great individuals. What I will not do is allow that, because that's a choice that I decided to make in that moment. What I will not do is do that again.
Now, is there are there different levels to compromising?
Well, first, I did, when someone says, is it selfish to not compromise? It's basically like them being so set in their ways that they don't even want to know you, like something that makes
Agreed.
Okay.
That sounds like some setting your ways shit. We too young for that.
You just
Stop
set in
it.
your ways and you just don't want to do nothing that the person that makes the other person happy. How the hell do you want to be poured into and you don't want to pour shit back?
If we can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell can we go?
I'm out.
Log out. Because y'all ain't gonna be together for a long periodically amount of time. Okay?
Bella, no.
For real. But that's just that. It's the truth.
I totally agree. So if we was here sitting at 50 and 60 years old and having this conversation of a child, I ain't trying to do so-and-so and the blah, blah, blah.
But aren't you there?
Who?
You said 50.
Girl, you better take two steps back in that chair.
Edwin's the only one that's young. That bitch is in his 20s.
We are young.
I'm 33.
38 is young.
Edwin's a baby.
I'll take
That's
it.
true.
Insomnia, I don't know, said, I think there are definitely levels to compromise. Agree.
There is, but you have to be willing to do so. Like in the beginning, because the thing is, they said in the beginning, not compromise. Like that's meaning I'm setting what I'm doing, and whatever makes you happy, I ain't doing it. To me, that's my perception.
Okay. What happens when a person doesn't understand compromise? Like the structural of compromise.
Yeah, that's the part of learning your partner.
I gotta learn it, nigga, too. I'm out.
Yes, duh. I mean, that's the part of getting to know somebody. What are you doing in that moment? Learning them. He knows he can't stand you to put on jupe cologne, so why are you putting on jupe every time y'all get together?
All the answers to the test. I ain't got time to learn shit. Like, what is we doing? Either we is or we ain't.
No, like you gotta.
I'm hitting you on the head with my pen.
I know.
For me,
don't get the switch because you're gonna get an ass whooping.
For me, I'm at that point like. What you see is what you get. Like, you ain't gotta learn me because I'm gonna give it all to you in the beginning so you can say if you want it or not, because I'm gonna have more.
I mean, but see, that's who you are as a person. And that's always been who you've been as a person. And it's always been, at other points in your life, a defense mechanism. So now it's understanding, am I still coming at this individual from a defense standpoint because I'm a completely different person than who I was than several years before.
Edwin, right? You heard all of them, right?
Huh?
Or he said 3 completely.
Yeah. I'm a completely different person. So is it a defense mechanism or is it a growth mechanism for me at this point? Because now I'm not trying to be in a situation where I'm looking for rejection. Because, baby, I'm the whole motherfucking table. And if you don't recognize it, get up.
Hello.
And that's just that on that, okay?
The 1, not the 2, bitch, and ain't never been the 3. Okay.
I don't even know what the 3 is. Nor 2. But I agree.
Edwin, when was your last relationship?
2018.
Edwin.
March 2018.
Why
Actually.
do you feel you've been single for so many years?
I blocked myself off to dating. I really did, right? Bible. Because it was it was such a world, like the years that we was in it was such a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind, and I stopped it. I blocked myself off, and I started working. Well, I was already working, and I got in school. So I made myself busy for other things and not try to focus on the whole dating pool.
Were you still having sex?
No.
So you was abstinent too?
No, I was jacking off.
Dedrick, when was your last relationship?
Well, we already know. 17.
17.
Because I moved in the house in 18.
Oh yeah, you sure did.
17. So it's been 5 years.
So as we move forward in this upward mobility of dating, how do we begin to date outside of our normal? Because I think we as Black queer men get stuck in this cycle of what our normal is, like the spots we go to, the people we hang with, like, except for Dedrick, because that bitch will hop on a cruise tomorrow and not tell me.
And if you date me, baby, be ready to go.
How do
we putting in PTO together?
How do we begin to change the dynamic of walking into this space of being ready or being open to dating? Edwin.
I mean, I'm open to dating. The thing is, consistency has always been an issue for me when it comes to getting to know someone. Like the first day, okay, with the communication and the dialogue, I'm one of the type of people that, how was your date going? Did you have a good day? Did you eat? How do you feel on Fridays? Mental Health Friday. How are you?
Come on, Mental Health Friday.
Yes, MHF.
Period.
Yeah. I do that every Friday. I send out Mental Health Fridays, ask how are you? So I'm very
fun, but okay.
I would start. So
I ain't got one of them.
Hello.
All right. So I always do that every Friday. But I'm very consistent, and what I don't like is for someone to be inconsistent. Like, and what really grinds my gears, if I'm looking and I didn't send you a text, good morning, I hope your day is going well throughout the day, or blah, blah, blah. And then I see your ass, you've been online all day. I'm like, I mean, I'm not controlling saying you have to respond to me. But I mean, damn.
Hold on. Hold on. To be fair, you know our phones are logged in online. So like Facebook, Instagram, like our phones are logged in. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I will read a message and respond to you. But literally, I got sidetracked and I forgot to hit send. 4 hours later, realized I didn't hit send, right? Mm-hmm. But how do we come away from that? Because I feel that causes that what you just said causes so many unneeded emotional reactions. I know online I seen you post like, wait, hold on, I got to hit send.
And if that is explained, that's understood. However, I agree.
But when does it become a pattern?
That's exactly what I was going to say. When it becomes...
Thank you all for tuning in.
Consistent. When it becomes consistent, that's a problem. Okay, the first time, okay, I understand. Stuff happens. We forget sometimes to press send because...
Well, I need you to allow it to excuse me at least once a day. Give me once a day.
Let's call this shit what it is, because that's the new normal. Oh, my sister calling me or my mama calling me. I gotta get off the phone.
Okay.
Let's call a spade, because we all have done it. Let's not get it twisted.
Child, when I tell you I have done this in a heartbeat, I have taken my camera off and said somebody was calling me to get off the phone with someone. I've done it.
Or I sent that text message and forgot to send.
But I literally,
And that's my excuse when
knowing
I
damn
send it.
well
Oh,
you
I'm
didn't
the
see
guy
it,
that was
but
sitting in my
you
no,
outbox.
I did that minutes ago. Now listen, y'all is my friends, and Edwin, I consider you a friend. I've known you for years, right? Y'all is my friends. Y'all know my scatterbrain ass gets sidetracked so quick. Like y'all know me, Dedrick. You know, Dedrick.
I mean,
We
I know, shit.
we will be recording an episode of the podcast, Edwin, and I'll think about something and forget where we are. I got to go back literally to my Asana board. So, like, and I'm not saying everyone's like this, but I'm just saying, where do we start to shift the conversation from you do this all the time to damn, your old ass needs some ginkgo biloba.
So that's where the compromise part comes. If I'm bringing it to your awareness that is offending me that you're doing this all the time, then you're supposed to put in the effort to make sure it doesn't happen again.
But if I'm telling you, please forgive me, it's not on purpose. Like, you know me.
But too many sorries gonna make you a sorry ass dude.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Too
Yeah,
many
what?
sorries over the same damn thing. I'm gonna consider you a sorry ass nigga.
Well, listen, I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you right there. I mean, I ain't gonna do it.
But also, too many you holding it against me when you know it's not like that. I'm gonna consider you a weak ass nigga.
No. But that's
That's
not
bullshit.
fair.
You
That
setting up
statement
shit for
isn't
a
fair.
fight.
That's selfish. That is selfish for you to think that someone's supposed to excuse the behavior that they are offended by and call it weak. Or because you can call it weak and I can call you selfish because of the fact that if I'm bringing it to your awareness, that means try to put a little more effort into trying to respond.
Say it louder for the people in the back. No, be offended if I'm doing it on purpose. Take it personal if I'm doing it on purpose.
After a repeated cycle, it seems like
the
it's
question is
on purpose.
when do we know? When do we figure out that it's on purpose? And when do we address it with your ass? And when do you say, "Oh, guess what? I really like this person, so he is actually telling me that this is a problem. Am I going to recognize that this is a problem and fix it, or I'm gonna do what the fuck I've been doing because I'm who I am?"
In Jesus' name. Agreed.
So I'm trying to date somebody now, right?
Yay!
Okay, so you just basically saying you do this now.
It's not working because when I try to see him, it's always a reason why I can't that night. He going out with his best friend. So
Oh, no.
I'm the kind of bitch like, bye. I'm done.
I mean, in those type of scenarios, I mean, I feel like you get a 1 or 2, 3 strike rule in that situation, because if I'm genuinely trying to get to know somebody, let's do this. What we're not getting ready to do is you get ready to put a whole bunch of stuff in front of me. And so I used to get pegged on this all the time when individuals would say that they liked me and then they see my life. Yes, I have practice on these days. Yes, I play ball on these days. Yes, I do all these things. I can manipulate that shit. I'm telling you that I have them because you need to understand what my schedule looks like. But I want to be with you in whatever it is because I like quality time.
Here you go, Barry.
So,
I'll block you and keep it moving. I'm not doing this.
toxic.
I'm so quick.
Barry loves to block. Oh, yes. Edwin will block somebody. Edwin blocked me for years, y'all.
So when you are not, and I'm expressing to you my concern and
y'all just ignored that statement, but okay.
Whatever. I'm not paying attention to you. I heard you though. But anyway, when I am expressing to you my concern and you are not taking it serious at all and you still playing in my face, oh baby, I don't owe you no conversation no more. I don't even owe you to be able to see me. And then we'll be like, okay, what happened?
Better.
You just want me to come up here.
Why you say KY is busy as fuck?
Because he is.
I know you ain't talking.
Say what?
He said he know you ain't talking.
You gotta give me a better argument than
Listen.
me being busy.
Listen. I can't help that I work 6 jobs.
Okay, 6 jobs.
And
What I can
who's judging
help,
you for that?
what I can help is the amount of activity that I schedule around those jobs for the person that I'm supposed to be, quote unquote, trying to get to know and or date.
Where are you going with that?
So what?
Where are you going with that?
No, I'm just saying. It was a general statement. You are
I
extremely
was going to
busy.
say because we can attack that.
Not on live.
Okay.
Some liquor.
Barry,
Yes.
what's your love language?
My love language is 1, quality time, and 2, I like to pay niggas bills, take niggas on vacation, shit like that.
Let me.
That's not a love language. Oh, that's
For,
gift.
I'll
for,
take
for
That's
me,
gift.
Why did
for
my sugar
me,
daddy just happen?
for me, it is because I've always done it. Not because I feel like it was something that I had
That
to do.
doesn't mean
It's
it's a
something that
love
I wanted to
language,
do.
though.
So you're a fucking
So
sugar daddy?
his is quality time and service.
Oh, so
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what his.
But he's lying though, because his last relationship, his nigga had all the money, he was paying for everything.
That's a goddamn lie. Stop it. And Diamond, you know better. You know better. You know better than that. Don't do that. Do
So
not.
okay. Quality time and service. Quality time with you.
Oh God.
Mine is quality time and words of affirmation.
What the fuck? Words of affirmation? Nigga, read a
Yes.
book. Like,
He needs to hear every day or whatever the pattern is. Good morning. How are you? How was your day?
no,
You are
used to
handsome. You
like
are all
that.
like
I do
I
the good morning. I do the
I
good morning
do
thing.
like that. Edwin got a fucking attitude problem. Well, he did that.
Wait. Run that back. What you say?
I used to do that to you. Nice, hey friend, good morning, friend. Today, you got an attitude problem. You used to have a nasty attitude back in the day.
I did. I was hard. Thank God for growth.
Thank God for deliverance, because you was an evil bitch.
I was one of them. I was a scorn bitch. That's what I was.
Got it.
I was scorned.
I
That I
never
was like,
allowed.
anybody that kind of tried to come towards me, I was like, and I don't know who the fuck you are, and you ain't finna talk to me either.
I never
My
Literally,
allowed
morning,
what happened.
my morning was already
I never
good.
allowed what happened to me to scorn me. However,
I was
I have
young.
been in situations to where if I see something and it reminds me of something that has happened, then it's a trigger.
yeah, and you ready to fight.
That's a lie. Stop. Why are you trying to make me out to be this violent person?
And
You are.
he out to make me look like I just got this horrible ass attitude. I don't got it no more.
No,
I used
Edwin,
to.
Edwin, I
I'm
think
glad I'm an angel.
Edwin, you grown up in the past 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, I was 23. I was young and scorned.
I guess let me ask this.
And did not know how to manage my emotions. I did not know.
That's deep.
That's what it was.
Who taught you how to manage?
Therapy.
Come on, black man in therapy.
What I say? We have
I'm
resources. Use
trying
them.
to Cedric to go, but he won't.
Listen,
What?
when I went to therapy, it was one exercise that dang on therapist had me do, and I still do it to this day. That when stuff get chaotic, she told me just inhale until your stomach becomes a ball and you can't inhale no more, and then just slowly exhale. And I feel so much lighter because most things you're not breathing. You're allowing things to take you away.
Okay, come on, Doctor Know It All.
I may need to try that.
Yes,
It works like big time. You feel so much better afterwards.
really?
Mm-hmm. For real.
I may need to try that because I want to kill everybody.
So
Yeah, you
listen,
need to breathe, friend.
But I thought you wasn't violent.
I'm not violent. I'm just saying I be wanting to kill everybody.
Oh,
I just say I go out and act on it.
all right, Barry, hang up.
Oh.
Hang up, Barry. I love you. Drive safely. Hang up.
Damn.
Very serious. He's crazy.
I don't say that.
Oh, he hung up for real.
Edwin, you know who I am. So listen.
Ew.
as we explore, let's do this. Chink, who was on earlier, is throwing a speed dating event soon. Are y'all coming?
Who is?
Chink, the boy who was on earlier when we were talking about elevating.
Okay.
You down?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. Dedrick?
I have to think about that.
Bitch. You're there.
You got to send me the D's because I don't know.
Yep, as soon as I create them.
I might be busy, according to Barry.
Tell me this, and then I'll go because it's tapping on 9:30.
Yes.
In the real world, what are 3 things, isms, whatever, that you want your next spouse to have? Dedrick.
3 things that I want my next spouse to have. Oh, shit. Have some adventure, a backbone, and what? Adventure, a backbone, and be in love with the idea of family.
So I
Edwin.
think y'all probably ain't gonna like my response, but I'm gonna say it. I literally never say what I'm looking for in someone because I never want that someone to try to morph themselves into what I'm looking for, and then eventually I find out who you really is.
Okay. So answer the question still.
I just would want to get to know someone.
Okay, how about this? I'll flip it. What are 3 things that draw you to a person?
Conversational, intellectual, respectable.
RESPECT. That's what every need from his nigga. Okay. Constant intellect, respect. CIR.
We had a conversation. Allow me to pick your brain sometimes. Let's see how do you feel about a certain some that's happening. And if you respect me, you won't play with me.
But also, if he respects you, he will.
You will play. You know your friend.
As always, you all, I thank you for rocking with us. Dedrick, the human resource. Edwin, R&B singer. I'm Sean. This is Rainbow Frame Magazine. This is Weekday Unwind organically. The recording of the podcast leading to us going live. So y'all stay tuned for the next episode of Weekday Unwind with Simon Keaton and Dedrick, available on all streaming platforms. Tap in and catch up if you haven't heard the previous episodes, and get ready for the next one. Oh, and Real Men Unwind coming soon, and Edwin will be a special guest in the studio with us. Y'all already know how those conversations go. Until next time, he is Dedrick,
the human resource, and y'all better know.
Hold on. Did y'all see this question?
Are you all limited to dating only black men? Hell no.
I am.
Logging off. I am. I'm going to call it what it is.
We're going to unpack this.
I'm mixed.
I'm mixed too. But still.
Insomnia. I'm going to hold on to that for you because I promise you, we're going to unpack that together.
Hey, girl, hey. We on your ass on this question.
That was deep.
We're going to parking lot it.
You took it there. Woo! We're going to sign off. We logging out. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.